welcome to Dax Chats. In this episode, I'm speaking to a newcomer. She's from Wingham and she's just brought out her debut single. Now, I don't know much about her, but she has been at the Tamworth Country Music Festival for the last 3 years in a row. And in 2018, she was one of the top 10 buskers to perform on the main stage. Today, Dax Chats to Hudson Rose. And here she is. How are you, Hudson?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So as I said, I don't know much about you. You've just basically come out of nowhere. So tell all of us who Hudson Rose is.
Yeah, well, I am a country musician. I've just released my first debut single, which is super exciting. I think the Tamworth Country Music Festival has been a really big part of my journey. I got my very first guitar in December of 2016 and learnt 3 songs to head to Tamworth. And it was my first year. And I carried the guitar around just like to make it look like I was a musician. I think that would make it look the part. And so one of the buskers stopped me on the street and he goes, "Oh, you've got to play a song." And I had a mini Maiden and he had the same guitar. And so he was like, "Oh my God, this is," and I looked at him. I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know you," but I think that's what Tamworth's about, just embracing every opportunity. And so I did. I played my 3 songs that I'd learnt terribly, mind you. They were so bad. And then went back each day for the rest of the time we were there each morning and played these 3 songs in his busking spot. And then went back the following year and had a busking spot that I shared with 2 friends. And then, so that was 2018. And then 2019, I was selected to be a top 10 busking finalist and play in Toyota Park, which was pretty exciting. It's a little bit different to playing in the street. But that was pretty exciting. And then this year in 2020, I did, I think I did 14 shows, which was pretty exciting. I had just to try, and I opened for Homegrown, a band from Queensland, and they were lovely. So it's a jam-packed festival. And I think, trying to take one step further each year has always been my goal, and having that 1 year mark is always good to kind of look back and go, okay, what have I achieved this year? And then I've always wanted 2020 to be the year that I release music, and I wanted to wait till I was 18, and that was this year. And so I think COVID has kind of had its positives and negatives, I guess. I think positives has given me the time to be able to learn things and to write and to do all that. I've been doing a lot of Zoom writing as well, which has been a whole different world. But
it is a different world. I've just done that myself.
But it's like the technology, and it's like even the lag, and sometimes you sit there and play and the other person's like not in time with you, and then it's all like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'll stop."
Yep. I know. I went through the whole thing. And the funny thing is when I did it, I just did it last week with a friend of mine, Glenn Bidmead, and I recorded it just like I'm recording our interview. And when I played it back, it just sounded horrible. I'm like, what have I done?
You're like, oh my goodness, what happened? But I think it's great. Like, I think COVID has given me that opportunity to be able to learn skills in like software, and to be able to look into gear and the different things that I need to be able to even do demos at home. I think that's almost the future of being able to be efficient and do those things yourself cost effectively. I think it's definitely part of the future. And then negatively, COVID, I guess, has slowed down gigs and the opportunity to perform physically. I think nothing really beats that. But yes, I think what else is there about me? I think I went to see my first Keith Urban concert when I was, maybe let's go with 9. I can't remember if it was 8 or 10, but 9's in the middle. So
somewhere there.
That's right, those 3 years. But it was in Newcastle, and he just blew my mind. I remember sitting there and telling Mum that that's what I want to do. And so, and I think my mum's always been very, very supportive of me. And my number one cheerleader, and normally you have a conversation with someone and they're like, oh, you know, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I'm like, oh, I want to be a musician. And they go, no. What do you really want to do? Like, what's your backup plan?
Yeah.
And I think mum has never said that to me. She's always just like, you know, okay, well, what do you need to do to get there? And I think that's been a really big motivator for me. So I think having some of my amazing team, people, friends that just support me and push me, I think is what keeps me going. Yeah.
I'm so glad that, you know, things have changed over the years, because I had, you know, growing up, you know, when I was your age, a little bit younger, probably 15, I had this idea that I wanted to be a musician. But my mother was very different. My mother was like, go and get a real job. You know, you need to, you know, you need to support yourself. You need to support a family. You need to do this. You need to do that. You can't be chasing dreams. And I've chased dreams all my life.
Yeah. That's what it's about, though. I think I always have this idea that, you know, there's I feel like my life's ready, like it's planned, and it's almost like we're here to fulfill like a contract. And I feel like this is mine. This is my contract. So I'm just going to keep trying.
Well, I tell you, you've done extremely well. The debut single is called, I did see it just before, "Never See Me Cry," and it is absolutely beautiful. It's a great track.
Thank you. No,
Talk to us about the track.
Yeah, so when did we write? So I wrote this song with a friend of mine, Jackson James, who's a fellow Australian artist from Port Macquarie on the mid-north coast, and we wrote the song. I came to Jackson with some ideas of like some lyrics, and this song, it's personal for me. I guess it's kind of about, you know, different relationships or encounters that I've had, and I'm not really like a show emotions kind of person. I'm a very so that's why I sing, and I don't have to talk about it.
Same as me. That's it. My wife always complains, you're never emotional. You don't show emotion. I'm like, yes, I do.
Have you listened to my songs? Music. Exactly. And so I think that's something people can relate to, you know, as you can. I think it's not something that people really love talking about. And so this song's kind of about that, and expressing how you're feeling through music, and almost not feeling at home in your own home. I think was one of the themes in this song, and how things can change so quickly in a day. And I think that's why the first line of the song is, it was a Saturday when everything changed. And I think typically Saturdays and Sundays, Friday, Saturday, Sundays are meant to be the best days of the week. And then it's that contradiction of that's when it all kind of went downhill. Yeah, that's it. And so Jackson really clicked with that idea, and we write really well together. So Jackson also produced the video and played a number of instruments on the track. I had some amazing artists play on that track. I'll talk about that later. But so we came up with this idea, and I think this song, it just had some sort of magic for me. There was just something about it, and it was a little bit long. It's actually over 4 minutes. And so we do have a radio edit, but it was over 4 minutes. But I think I sent it to a few people, and I said, you know, what can we take out? And they said, oh, you know, I don't think you can really take anything out. It doesn't feel long. But it's a story, and it feels complete with that. Yep. And so we kept it, and we held on to it for a little while, recorded it, and then, it kind of sat on it. And I think, that magic has stayed there, and after, you know, these few months. And so, I think it was definitely a good choice for my first song, I feel.
Absolutely. It is a great song. But as you said, you know, COVID has obviously had its downfalls. You know, do you release music this year? Do you wait till next year? I can't go out and perform. I can't get my name out there. The only thing I've got is my Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube channel. You know, they're the only ways I can express myself right now. That's a hard thing to deal with. How have you coped with dealing with that?
I think at the start of the pandemic, I was a bit like, what? Like it was like from doing, I usually do gigs up and down the coast most weekends. And it was a bit of a shock to go from, you know, gigs three nights a week on the weekends to nothing. And you just like, okay, what do I do? I usually gig now. And that, you know, that's what keeps you active. It keeps you outside, keeps you interacting with people. I really miss that interaction with other people.
For sure.
Just chatting. And I think I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna write heaps. That's what I'm gonna do. And at the start of the pandemic, I was like, oh, I don't know what to write about. Like, I don't have anything. I wasn't feeling inspired. You know, I was inside most of the time.
Correct.
And yeah, exactly. And so
it makes it very hard for us creatives to actually think outside that box and out, because, you know, I spoke to a couple of people, and, you know, the one thing that the main thing that they've all talked about is that we can't write about our current situation.
Yeah,
we have to be able to write about the escapism of that situation.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, yeah.
And those dreams kind of things, like hopes and almost to keep people going. I think, you know, people turn to music sometimes in these times, and they want to hear something that keeps them going. And so it's hard to get inspiration, I think, from nothing, almost, essentially.
Correct. I mean, I just told you before, I just wrote a song this week with Glenn Bidmead, but, you know, that was based on a story from our lives, you know, my life back when I was like 16 years old and he was 26, you know, like, so there's an interesting connection, and that's where that story came from. But previous to that, I was sitting down trying to write a song, and I wrote something, and I threw it up on Facebook on my personal page, not even on an artist page. I just threw it up on my personal page, and, you know, I'd done a couple of videos throughout the day, and then at the end of the day finished it with this is the song. But I've never produced it, because all it was about was how, you know, obviously it was about needing to support each other, and, you know, all of that stuff. But it was like, I just feel like if I put this thing together and actually produce this song, it wouldn't have any traction moving forward into the future, because we're at that point where this is going to end someday, you know. We don't know when, but it is going to end someday. And then those songs, like, you know, Big and Rich saying "Stay Home," that song is going to be irrelevant, you know.
That's it. And it's, so I think
so it is one of those things where you don't know what to write, you don't know how to write, because the only momentum you've got is what you're doing around the house. I'm doing the cleaning.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I think, you know, writing something that does have longevity and is important, but then that's it. It's that like balance of, well, I don't have any inspiration, but I want to write something that inspires people.
Yes.
Yeah. So where do I get my inspiration from? So I think that's definitely been a challenge for me.
So you've been doing some co-writing, obviously, in this huge pandemic, because there's no other way to do it, really, virtually. So you've been doing it through Zoom or Skype or whatever. How's that experience been for a young songwriter?
Yeah, interesting. I'm new to songwriting, so I've only been writing for about 18 months, 2 years, and it's different. I think the part where people are, you know, what you're not in sync is I struggle with that, just because, you know, when you're in a room, you kind of just jam along, you kind of play along, you like hum something and something else comes out. But when you're virtual, it's that lag, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to listen to this. It's it definitely has a different energy. But I think it's what we're working with at the moment. And if we can keep creating music and find ways to do that, then I think that's great.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Now, the other thing is, how did you record this song? Because, you know, you've released it in the pandemic. Did you actually record it before the pandemic hit, or were you in a virtual setting where you had to go to a producer and do your vocals somewhere else, or how did that all?
So it was a bit of it was during the pandemic, so it was a little bit of a virtual process. It was really important to me. I wanted like real instruments on the track, and And I think that's always been really important to me from the start. And so I had some amazing musicians play on the track, and I had Bill Chambers did, yeah, he's just an absolute gem. So he did pedal steel and banjo. I'm thinking he did another one, but pedal steel and banjo in this one. Jacob Neal from Newcastle did keys. Jackson, who co-wrote the song, did electric guitar, acoustic guitar, bass. And then Reese Zacher from Spinlight Studios, who produced the song and mastered it, did drums. And so what we just sent the briefs, and we sent like a what is it, like a guide, there we go, a guide track to the musicians, and got them to put them in a Dropbox stem folder. And then sent them all to Reese from Spinlight Studios, and he worked his magic with that. I recorded the vocals with Jackson at he has like a home studio. And so we recorded the vocals there and then sent them off to Reese and did harmonies there and everything as well. So I guess I really enjoyed the process. I think Reese has been amazing to work with because he's so open to giving to feedback, but also to, like, I'll ask questions and he's super open to answering them. But I haven't really been in the studio a lot, so I can't comment as to how different it is, because I've only really experienced the virtual side, I guess. So, but it was good. So,
yeah. Well, I tell you, it's one of those things. I've sort of experienced both sides of it because I guess, one I've produced on my own. But then I've also been in a studio environment where I've had all the session musicians in at the same time and the band playing together. And I've had numerous types of ways of recording. I think this way is quite strange. It is. But I think it is what it is now, and we've got to keep the music flowing, as you say. So let's keep it going the best way we know how. And if it means that if I have to record my vocal here and then send it to Matt Fell or send it to, Bill Chambers. Bill Chambers just produced one of my co-written songs.
Cool.
So, and that's going on another artist album. I'm not singing that one. Another artist is singing it, but it's beautiful. I've heard the track. It hasn't come out yet, but I've heard the track, and it's bloody awesome. I love Bill. I mean, that's just exciting in itself, because when I got when the artist that I co-wrote this song with, this was a song that I'd written, and I'd sort of put it on the shelf, for 2 years. It'd been sitting there since 2018, and I was just like, during the lockdown, I pulled it out again. I started rewriting and reworking it, and I went, I think I know someone that this will suit. So I actually messaged them and said, hey, how would you like to do a co-write? This is what I've got now. What do you think? And so we just started flipping stuff back. It wasn't even through Zoom at that stage. This was just Messenger. So we just kept flipping stuff back and forward to each other, and finally came out with a song. And I've recorded an acoustic video version of it. And she also recorded an acoustic video version of it on her page. And then I was just like, look, you know what? I'm in China. I'm not going to get out to a producer. I'm not going to get out to, I'm not going to spend a lot of money right now, So I'm like, it's your song. You take it. And she didn't really know what she was going to do with it. But she was getting ready to record her new album. She was putting a whole host of songs together. She went down to Bill because he was going to produce the album. And so she played all the tracks that she had, and she played him this song, and she wasn't sure about it. And Bill turned around and said, nah, this one's got to go on the album. This one's got to go. This one's good. So I'm just wrapped that Bill saw that. And so,
He's a bit of a gem. I met Bill at Tamworth this year, and at the pub where he does a lot of shows there, and he was just at the bar, and I went up and I just introduced myself, and he gave me his phone number. He was like, I'd love to hear your music. Like, if you have some stuff, send it through. If you need any banjo, pedal steel, slide on tracks, let me know.
Dobro, he does
yeah,
everything.
exactly. So he was just, and he was so lovely, so open, and it was turns it around super quickly. And he's just a gem to work with. I think
absolutely. I can't rave enough about him either. I guess I need to know.
Yes.
Well, actually, before we get to what's next, you've already become a celebrity because you appeared on Celebrity Country Music Wiz.
I did.
How was that for you? You got
it was so fun.
You were up the top somewhere. Yeah.
I was on the leaderboard, number 5, maybe something like that, 5 or 6. Anyway, and I was so impressed with myself.
I ended up in like 22nd or something. I don't know. No, it wasn't that bad. I was 15th. I was 15th.
Okay, that's better than 22nd.
Playing from home. I was like, what the? You were good.
I was a bit shocked. Danny was saying, oh, I've been getting these questions from Facebook. I was like, okay, let's see how we go. And no, I shocked myself. I was very happy. I'm like, yes, I know my country music general knowledge.
Yes, you certainly do. You beat me, and that's I've been on in that top 3, and I've been on the show 3 times now, I think.
Yep. Oh, that's so cool. No, it was great. I was Danny was lovely, and then the Zoom cut out at the end.
Yes, and I know. And you guys were all still sitting there and didn't know what to do. And you're all having a chat.
Yeah, where did Danny go? But no, it was good fun. It was really great.
You had the problem with Larry first. Larry dropped out, and then he had to log back in, and so his name that he previously had, and he had to start with a new name.
And he was doing so well. He was doing really well, and then he froze, and he couldn't. And
yes. But that's the wonderful NBN that you all have in Australia now. Isn't that lovely?
I know. Fantastic. Couldn't fault it.
No. All right. So my next question is, what is coming for Hudson Rose? I mean, I know this song's brand new, and I know you've just got the video clip out. You got the website coming, but what is coming musically for you?
So I think we're still kind of wrapping our heads around this single, and I think it's been really well responded. Like, we've got some great responses, which we're so grateful for. And the video was amazing. It was we actually filmed the video in like a derelict house, and it had no doors or floors or windows or anything, no roof, and there was trees all through it. And
lovely.
Yeah, the day we went, Jackson, who was filming, fell through the floor, and I said, okay, well, if we're going to film here, we might need to make that one a bit safer. And so we put a floor in and built like some bearers and joists that week and filmed the weekend. And it was a bit of an experience, that one, but I think I'd do it all again. It's all part of the fun of it. But yeah, we were filming until one Saturday. We were filming, I think we started at 2, and we put furniture in the house too, and we brought like trailer loads. It was generators and lights. It was a full, there was 3 of us or 4 of us. My sister came as well. But yeah, that's one of my favorite stories to tell. I think it's there was so much love and time that went into that video and project, and then we had to take the floor up. We just did it out of plywood or ply sheets, and then we had to take it up because it was going to rain. We finished filming at 11, so ripped the floor up at 11:30, and then loaded it in the dark, and it was it definitely a full-on day. But so that's been really great, and really great to get that out into the world for people to see, and to I think video clips always add to the song. So I think done really well. There's some amazing video clips out there, but they add to it. But back to the question, I do that a bit. I go like this way. Next, I think we are working on some other songs. One of the co-writes that I did during COVID with Jackson Beasley, who does some work with Brad Cox as well. We wrote a song, and then working on this again with Jackson James. We've kind of come up with this idea.
Jacksons in your life.
I know. I have another friend with a middle name.
My son's name is Jackson. How's that?
Wow, Jackson Beasley, Jackson James, Jackson. Oh, and your son, Jackson. I have a friend with the middle name Jackson. It's.
There you go.
I might need little nicknames like Jax and.
Well, my son's Jax.
Okay. Fair enough. Oh, that works. Dax and Jax. Well, David and.
Actually, that's why, as you know, my name's Dave, right?
Yeah.
But the reason behind the whole Dax thing is because my wife's name is Max, and my son's name is Jax. So I just went, bugger it, I'm going to call myself Dax.
That's so cool, and I think Dax Chats works really well. So nailed it. Yeah.
Well, all I can say is welcome to the industry. You've got some good support behind you, so congratulations. The new single is great, and the video clip is awesome as well. And I hope you have the best success, and I really do hope you can get out there and do some touring soon. And it's great to talk to you. It's been fantastic. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been brilliant.
Thank you.
No worries. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Hudson Rose, and her new song is called Never See Me Cry. And as we just said, you can find it on all your streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. It is on our All Aussie Country Thunder playlist and our Country Thunder International playlist, so go check those out. Or you can find her on the Country Thunder Network. Just go to that website right there, countrythunder.com.au. You can request the song straight from the player. And what's more, you can vote for the song, in the Country Thunder 20. The voting form is at the top of the page. This is DJ Dax. You've been watching Dax Chats, and we're proudly supported by these guys right here, Neon Horse in Stanhope, Victoria. And don't forget, if you'd like to become a sponsor, just get in touch with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Dax Chats. Bye for now.